than you were 4 years ago? Is it easier for you to go and buy things in the stores than it was 4 years ago? Is there more or less unemployment in the country than there was 4 years ago? Is America as respected throughout the world as it was? Do you feel that our security is as safe, that we're as strong as we were 4 years ago? And if you answer all of those questions yes, why then I think your choice is very obvious as to who you'll vote for. If you don't agree, if you don't think that this course that we've been on for the last 4 years is what you would like to see us follow for the next 4, then I could suggest another choice that you have.
Hi, I'm Melissa, and welcome to this month's live from at the Reagan Library. Remember, we do these on the first Wednesday of every month. Just 1 week ago today, on September 27, 2023, 7 Republican candidates stood here at the Reagan Library on a debate stage not very far from where I'm standing right now during a presidential debate we hosted in partnership with Fox Business, Univision, Rumble, and the RNC. As such, we thought we would spend today's live from talking about the debate, sharing some behind-the-scenes moments of what it takes to put on a debate, and then at the very end, we are also going to show some exclusive clips and excerpts of interviews we did with each of the 7 candidates. And just like last month, we really want to be interactive with you. So whether you're watching live on YouTube, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, please, while I'm talking, if you have any questions about the Reagan Library or the debate we just held, put it into that comment section you see right there on the screen you're watching it on. Put your comment in. I'll do my best to answer it at the end of the episode. So the debate we held last week was our 5th debate we have held. We held 2 debates in the 2028 presidential election cycle. We held 1 in the 2012. We held 1 in the 2016. There were not debates in the 2020 debate cycle. And then, of course, we just held 1 last week, our 5th, making it 5 debates we have held here at the Reagan Library. Now, people often ask us, why the Reagan Library? Why are you hosting debates? Well, in November of 1991, during the dedication of the Reagan Library, in his remarks, Ronald Reagan said that he didn't want his library just to be a place where scholars interpret the past. He also wanted it to be a dynamic forum where policymakers debate the future. And what better way to make his vision a reality than to hold presidential debates at his library? So let's talk about what goes into planning for a debate. It takes months and months of meticulous planning and about 7 to 10 days to completely put our property together, from everything from the debate stage to the landscaping and everything in between. There were over 450 staff and volunteers working on this campus that week, when you add in the staff and volunteers from the Reagan Library, as well as all of our different partners. We had over 500,000 square feet of new equipment and cabling infrastructure. We had almost 3,000 square feet of new network fiber. We had 3,500 square feet of graphics that we had designed, printed, and mounted. There was even more than 1 megawatt of power being pulled into this property through generators. And that's really just the tip of the iceberg of everything that went on here during the debate. Now, in the day or 2 leading up to the debate, we were very fortunate to be able to sit down with an exclusive interview with our President and CEO, David Trulio, and each of the 7 presidential hopefuls. We're now going to share a really quick excerpt from each of those 7 interviews.
The revival of our national identity, answering who we are as Americans, back to that revival of national character that Ronald Reagan spoke about 4 decades ago. I think that we have an opportunity to answer that question with conviction in a way that goes beyond black or white or Democrat or Republican even. I don't think that's the real divide in this country. I think the real divide in the country today is between the majority of us who love this country and the ideals that we're founded on, the ideals that Reagan so eloquently spoke of: free speech, prosperity, economic growth, meritocracy, the American dream, that you get ahead in this country not on the color of your skin, but on the content of your character. And a fringe minority in this country that rejects those ideals, that goes so far as to apologize for a nation founded on those ideals.
We need to restore the American dream in this country. People can't get ahead These are people that are working hard, they're trying to raise families, they're doing everything right, and they're falling further and further behind. If we can't make America work for those people, we're not going to be successful. And what I can tell people is, it's not just rhetoric for me. I've actually done it in the state of Florida. Our economy is ranked #1 in America. We've had more in-migration than any other state. We've cut taxes every year, budget surpluses. I've actually paid down almost 25% of our state's debt. That's why we're doing very well, and we're really cutting against the trends of Bidenomics. We need to take that know-how to Washington and be able to do that for the whole country.
What Ronald Reagan means to me, as a son of the heartland, as someone that believes in the boundless potential of the American people, is that one man from a humble beginning can not only change America, but can change the world. Ronald Reagan's the reason why I became a Republican. I started in politics as a Democrat in my teenage years, but when I heard the vision, the values, the optimism of Ronald Reagan, I joined the Reagan Revolution, and my life has never been the same.
You believe that all things were possible, and frankly, I believe that it is time for us to have another American sunrise. And what I would do as President of the United States is once again believe in the American people by doing so, reforming our tax code, cutting our taxes so that we have more resources in our pockets to determine our version of the American dream. The second thing I would do is I'd go to every single zip code in America and share the gospel of good news that all things are possible because we have already won the lottery of citizenship. If we remember that and work really hard, you get really lucky.
America's proven it can be that shining city. We just have to go there again. And I think in order to do that, we've got to lose this national self-loathing that we've allowed to have happen, go back to loving America, fight for a strong and proud America, do that by fixing our economy, do it by going back and closing our borders, do it by making sure we have transparency in education, do it by law and order in our country, and do it by making sure that the threats that we face know that America's back.
What Ronald Reagan gave as an example to us 44 years ago was he beat a Democratic incumbent. It has not been done since Ronald Reagan did it. I'm the only person on that stage who's ever beaten a Democratic incumbent. I beat John Corzine in New Jersey, in one of the bluest states in this country. Before we can do any of the things that we talk about, we have to win. And I'm the person on the stage that has shown that I can attract independent voters, that I can attract strong Republicans, and I can even attract some Democrats. And that's what we need to do, just what he did, to go from a 40-state win his first time to a 49-state win his second time. That's the kind of coalition I can build for the Republican Party in his image. And that's why I'm so happy to be here tonight to make that case at his library.
Well, timing, I'm coming out of college. Inflation is at a super high level. We had the malaise of Jimmy Carter. The nation is depressed, and along comes Ronald Reagan, a Western governor, riding into our future. And as a young entrepreneur, the way he took down inflation, the way he won the Cold War, that really created the path for all the business success I've had in my life. And so, like a lot of Americans, I feel a great deal of gratitude to Ronald Reagan, and I think as a nation, we owe him not just the way we honor him here at this library, but for what he's done to set up the nation for success.
Those clips were great. We're going to tell you in just a few minutes how you can watch the entire interview. Before we keep going, I want to give some shout outs to those of you who are watching. Laura Ortiz on Facebook, we're so glad your son enjoyed the tour. Clifton Britt on YouTube, and of course Jake Land. Good to see you, Jake. He used to work here. So glad you're watching us. So whether you have a question for us or not, give us a shout out on Facebook or YouTube or LinkedIn. Let us know you're watching so we can say hi back to you. We're going to be taking your questions in just a minute or two. So please, if you have any questions, now is the time. So back to the debate. You just saw the 7 candidates in exclusive interviews. They all took the debate stage. Of course, there were also 3 moderators. We had Dana Perino and Stuart Varney from Fox Business and Elia Calderon from Univision. Topics from the debate covered everything from the economy to childcare, immigration to education, oil and gas production, and so much more. Now, if you go to our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Reagan Foundation, you can watch the full interviews of all 7 candidates. You can also see the replay of the debate. So again, youtube.com/Reagan Foundation. So we are getting time to take those questions or give, hey, Savannah, my daughter, nice to see you. Who else is watching? Give us shout outs. We'd love to say hi to you. I want to take your questions. You can tell I'm watching who's watching. So let me say hi to you. Let us know, put your name up there so we can say hi. Really quickly though, before we do that, this shirt that I'm wearing, right? So if you watch these live frums every month, you know that we try and tie something in from our store into the theme of the live cast. So what better thing to showcase than our Reagan Bush 84 gear? It's a whole line that we sell. All you have to do is go to reaganlibrary.com/store, scroll down just a little bit to the featured product section, and you'll find everything that we're talking about. I am wearing the female cut of the Reagan Bush 84. We also have a man's cut of it. We have the shirt in different colors, in gray and red. We have it in a sweatshirt. We have it in buttons and decals and mugs, even a shot glass. It's a really great line. It sells really well. So again, reaganlibrary.com/store. And you can buy anything here as well as obviously anything else in our store. Let's see if we have any more comments, any questions. I see some, Laura is asking, oh, who picks the questions? That's a really great question, Laura. It's the moderators and their business entities. So Dana Perino and Stuart Varney working through Fox and Elia Calderon working through Univision. They spend weeks and weeks. In fact, just after this video, we're going to be putting together another video on the debate that should go up on our YouTube channel in about a week that talks really about the process of how the debate is put together. We interviewed Dana Perino. She talks about what it means to be a moderator and how the questions are actually put together. We talked to a gentleman by the name of Scott Wilder, who was sort of the production head, and he talks about what it's like to actually run a debate. And we just sort of give a little bit more of the behind the scenes. So watch for that on our YouTube channel in about a week. And Laura is from Indiana. Nice to have you with us from Indiana. Thanks for joining us. Let's see, Jake's asking a question. Oh, the biggest challenges for setting up a debate at the Reagan Library. You know, it's a really great question because he's right. We were open to the public. We are a museum, as you know, first and foremost. So guests were coming to the Reagan Library while Fox was trying to build the debate stage. We did actually have to close the first floor of the Air Force One Pavilion, the floor I am standing on now, so that we could be safe to the public because this is the floor that we are building the platform on. But if you've ever been up here before, you also know that parking is a challenge, and with 400 staff members here every day putting the debate together, that also became a challenge of making it a convenient way for our visitors to get up here. But one of the great things about the debate is that it showcases the Reagan Library. So Univision and Fox News was broadcasting live from the Reagan Library all week, and it was actually bringing visitors up who wanted to come see the debate stage being built. So it's a very big challenge, but it also gives us a really big reward. Thanks for that question. Oh, Savannah, what's your favorite Reagan quote and why? You know, to be honest, there were 2 that were on his desk in the Oval Office, and I think both of them are my favorite quotes, and it's really because it's the mantra here at the Reagan Library and the Reagan Foundation. He had 2 plaques on his desk. One was "It can be done," and one was "There's no limit to what a man can do if he doesn't mind who gets the credit." I think both of those just speak so well to Ronald Reagan the man, but also to all of us as human beings and individuals, that if we have a can-do mentality, if we have a let's do it together, I don't need to get the credit kind of mentality, we can get so much more done. Great question. Are there any other questions from anyone? Oh, Jake's got full of questions. I appreciate it. Are there any lessons we learned? You know, every debate is different. We do each debate with a different media partner. This was the first time we worked with Fox. This was the first time we worked with Univision and the RNC, so that brought a lot of new perspectives to this debate. I think one of the things we tried to implement this time that we hadn't in the other 4 that we did is we really wanted to make sure that the in-person experience was just as spectacular as the people watching from home. So in working with Fox, in the past 4 debates, we only had about 400 to 450 in-person in-person guests. Working with Fox, we were able to get 730 people here in the Air Force One Pavilion to watch the debate live, and that really created a very vibrant live atmosphere for the candidates who are debating, so that was really great. Anyone else I can give a shout out to? Just looking really quickly, I don't think I see any other questions. Feel free to keep asking them. We will try and go back on throughout the day and answer anything that came in later. This new engaging with you live on YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn is something we hadn't really done for a long time. Started again last month and want to really get into it with all of our lives going forward. So don't be shy. Let us know you're watching so we can say hi. Add your question so we can answer them. The best way to engage with you is for you to feel comfortable engaging with us. So I want to thank you so much for joining us. We will be back next month, and our goal here at the Reagan Library is to keep hosting presidential debates in the future. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.